Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, tonight we're going to talk about fear, and we are going to talk about, I'm going to tell you a tale of two neighborhoods. Last couple weeks, every other day I've been running supplies down to Panama City to the hurricane impact zone, trying to make sure people get what they need. Stop at a little supply depot, pick it up, drive down. Been taking my kids with me, and people have asked, why are you taking your kids? You're going into some rough neighborhoods. And, well, and if you've ever been there on vacation, you're probably thinking rough neighborhood. Well, if you went there on vacation, you went to Panama City Beach. Panama City's over the bridge, and there are some rough neighborhoods there. The other day, the first stop I made was one of those neighborhoods. When I turned the corner, I realized where I was at. And it's the type of neighborhood people in my skin tone normally drive through speeding with their doors locked, or they try to avoid it completely. But I'm creeping down this road because they've cleared the debris in it. You can tell somebody went through with an axe and busted it up, and it's all piled on the side of the road. If you've ever been in one of those neighborhoods, you know the addresses are normally painted on the curb, and they're confusing to begin with. It's facility number, building number, and then a letter for the unit or something like that. It's hard to find what you're looking for. So I'm driving real slow, and about halfway down the street, four guys standing there. One of them walks out to the truck. These guys they're obvious gangbangers. They're all sporting colors, and he's like, "Homie, you lost." Obvious subtext of, "White boy, you need to get out of here. You're in the wrong place." And I'm like, "Well, I'm looking for this address." And he's like, "Oh, you're the baby formula man." I'm like, "Yeah, today I'm the baby formula man." He sends one of his buddies to go get the girl that needs it, and we're standing there talking. One guy's standing there adjusting because he's carrying and doesn't have his holster right or something. Other guy's got his head in the back of the truck talking to the boys. My son's real impressed with the wind and how it smashed the trees. And this guy's like, "Nah, wind didn't smash the trees. I smashed the trees with my axe." My son's like, 4-year-old. He's like, "Well, you made a mess at my house." And I asked them if they needed anything. 3 minutes. These guys gave me the diaper sizes of every kid in the neighborhood. Told me which kids needed, infant formula, and which kids needed toddler mix, and charcoal would be really helpful because they got the grills out back, no power. Guy down the road nobody likes needs a tarp, just do 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 do. And I type it in my phone. I run up, get it, bring it back to him. Get there, open the back of that truck. One guy hands it out. Other people run it to where it needs to go. Supplied that whole neighborhood in like 10 minutes. It was really impressive, to be honest. Leave there, and I drive up, and I end up in a nice neighborhood. And not like gated community nice, but a nice neighborhood, And the addresses are up on the house, all pretty. Find what I'm looking for pretty easy. Pull in the driveway. Get in the back of the truck, pull out a case of MREs and some water. Start walking up to the house, and some idiot from next door comes running out with his gun, screaming, "You loot, we shoot." And we have words. He goes back inside, and I drop off the supplies, get back in the truck, and I'm sitting there thinking, this guy, he thinks he's the neighborhood hero, because he's ready. Doesn't know his immediate neighbor, the elderly couple next door, doesn't have food and water. Leave there, go 2 streets north, same neighborhood. Start to drive down the road, can't get down it. There's a tree in it. So I grab a chainsaw and I start cutting it up. Guy walks out of his house with his chainsaw, helps. We get it done in like 10 minutes. And he's like, "I didn't want to be out here alone." What? He's like, the city said that anybody caught working without a license get arrested. "Well, have you seen them? It's been a few days since the hurricane." He's like, "No, I haven't seen them in 4 or 5 days." Well, if you haven't seen them, they're not going to see you. Clear your road. What are you doing? They're saying that because they're trying to stop contractors and shady construction workers from coming in and ripping people off. But That's what it boils down to now. It's fear. It's fear. That guy that came out of his house, I'm sure, because that neighborhood already had power. I'm sure he's sitting there reading the rumors on social media. There's looting in the streets. He's holed up. I've been down there. There's not looting in the streets. There's not. I'm sure that it's happened, but it's been pretty isolated. And I've been all over down there. The other guy, he's scared to cut up a tree without government permission. Clear his own road. The sons of the pioneers, right? That's what we like to cast ourselves as. We're Americans. The sons of the pioneers. Are we anymore? Or have we had it so good for so long that we've forgotten what that is? And we've become afraid of everything. Everything. It's that fear of the other. That guy, he's not from this neighborhood. Better get my gun. See, the sad part about that is, somebody who has not had a gun pointed at them before, that might stop them from doing relief work. They might stop doing it. And that guy thinks he's protecting people. He's helping. Because that's what it takes now, right? That's what it takes. That gun. It's the power of everything now. Because we're afraid of everything. So violence becomes the answer to everything. Now there's real fear. There's genuine fear. If you're ever somewhere and you don't know why, but the hair on your neck starts to stand up, your subconscious has caught something, and you need to pay attention to it. And then there's irrational fear. And that's what we're faced with now. And there's people that prey on it. And prey on that self-centered nature that we've developed in this country. There are people in the comment section, some of these videos, that actually believe that thousands of people fleeing Central America are really coming here because they want to vote and influence our election. And that's really what they're doing. How egotistical do you have to be to believe that? Dude, these people do not care about your politician. If they were going to wait for a politician to better their life, they'd still be at home. No, these people are on foot, walking a couple thousand miles to try to build a better life. They don't care about your politician, dude. And anybody willing to do that, yeah, they can live next to me. They're not afraid. They're willing to travel a couple thousand miles to come to a country that is certainly not welcoming to them right now, to get somewhere safe and try to build a better life. Sound like good people to me. But it's that fear. That fear. Everybody's out to get you. Nobody's out to get you. We are not the sons of the pioneers and the daughters of Rosie the Riveter anymore. Because we're not going to fix the problem ourselves. We're going to wait for somebody else to do it. Wait for government. Big Daddy government. Need them for everything. To cut a tree in our road. It's insane. When we're leaving that day, we're in a small town, and my 2-year-old spots a fire truck sitting out in front of the fire station. And he loves them. And he's about ready to crawl out the window. He said, "Oh, rescue team." Then he notices that the fire station's damaged. He's like, "Oh no, rescue team's hurt. Who's going to help?" My 4-year-old doesn't miss a beat. Us. And that's why I take them. That is why I take them. You can't tell a kid to be a good person. You got to show them. 4-year-old understands that at some point and at some times it's just us. There is no Big Daddy government coming to help you. If you're waiting for a politician, you need to understand you're waiting for the guy that came out screaming, "You loot, we shoot." That's who you're hoping is going to solve your problem. Because those people in D.C., they're convinced they got everybody protected. Meanwhile, their immediate neighbor doesn't have food and water. That's who you're waiting for. You got a problem in your community? Fix it. Do it yourself. Do not wait for a leader. Don't wait for some savior to arrive. Don't be afraid. Put out the flame with your foot. Get involved. You want to make America great? It isn't going to happen in D.C. It's going to happen at the local level. It's going to happen because we've reclaimed that initiative, that American character, that, Rosie the Riveter, Instead, we're afraid of everything and clinging to those guns. Because that's what it takes to be a hero today. That's how you become a hero. It's on TV. You got to get in a gunfight, right? That's what makes you tough, makes you a hero. Let me ask you this. At the end of the day, who's the better man? I'm sure all those gangbangers had guns. They're no stranger to violence. They knew the diaper size of every kid in that neighborhood. Or the guy screaming, "You loot, we shoot," didn't know his neighbor needed food and water. Who's the better man? Who's the hero in that story? Gun doesn't make you a hero. Gun doesn't make you tough. We've got a real problem in this country, and it really boils down to fear. It boils down to fear. We've got to stop being afraid of everything. Well, one of these migrants may be a murderer. Maybe there's 7,000 people. I'm sure somebody's done something wrong in that group. I mean, that's a pretty high probability right there. So I guess we just write them all off then. Let's do that with every group. I'm sure there's somebody in your city who's done something wrong. We need to just write your whole city off. Here's the thing, guys. It's up to you. It is up to you. If not you, who? Who's going to solve the problems? If it's not you. You personally. Not your representative. You. Anyway, it's just a thought. Just something to think about. And while I'm on this subject, I kind of want to point out that there are people still out there like that. This little supply depot I've been going to, it's at a place called Project Hope Incorporated. Now, under normal circumstances, these guys work with vets, and they use horses. Kind of cool, to kind of provide a cathartic experience. Interesting little concept, and they do good work, according to everybody that I've talked to that has ever had anything to do with them. They've turned their entire facility into a supply depot to help people. And you need to think about that. Supplies coming in to a non-government location. Non-government people getting to where it needs to go. If government could help, if government could really solve the problems, I wouldn't be running supplies in from 30 or 40 miles away. Anyway, y'all have a nice night.